Hello, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Coming up, we've got a good one on tap between the Dallas Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers. With that, let's get up to Green Bay, Wisconsin. Standing by for the call from venerable Lambeau Field, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
And we come to you from one of the truly iconic stadiums in the NFL as you get a look at Lambeau Field here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. We all know this community lives for its Packers, and the green and gold came out of the tunnel a short time ago, and it was loud. We are ready for football, so are they, as the Packers get set to match up with Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. Up in the booth with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden, and kickoff straight ahead, CD. What's one thing that you're going to have your eye on?
I think about what the great coaches of the past always said. The key to any ball game. Can you rush theirs and protect yours? Well, in this case, both of these teams get after the quarterbacks. I'm watching the pass rush.
Mason Crosby of the Packers has it teed up, and off we go from Lambeau. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. So here are the Cowboys now ready to go on offense for the first time. They'll be led out by the former Mississippi State product, the mobile quarterback, Dak Prescott. A first down throw for Prescott. And there is Amari Cooper, his first catch. Give him 3 there on the first play of the game, and it's second down. And on this offensive unit, your thoughts on Travis Frederick?
He's a quarterback's best friend, sets all the line calls, and blocks so aggressively.
That first down completion only netted him 3. Second and 7. Prescott to throw it. Completes it to Jason Witten. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5. And this defensive line will be looking to control the point of attack.
And that's what they've done throughout this season. This is a terrific unit. They play together very, very well, and they don't permit big plays to happen.
An early test, 2 plays in. This is 3rd and 2. Here's Prescott. And he's able to hook up with Michael Gallup. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It's a gain of 12, and the Cowboys pick up the first.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Prescott looks to throw on first. And this is caught by Witten, the tight end. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Give him 15 there, and the Cowboys have a first. How about the start throwing the football? 4 for 4 on this opening drive.
Oh, he's slinging it. And oftentimes when you talk about slinging it, you're thinking about a guy throwing it all over the yard, not necessarily accurately. In this case, though, he's honing in on his targets, and he's delivering.
Yeah, the opening script, however, they drew it up for this first drive, going to plan so far. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll throw again. Prescott. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in.
Let's go, boys.
A good pickup there, a 22.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe needs some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
Prescott going to come up 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 5 for 5 here to begin the game. Here's the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. And he'll be stopped after a gain of only a couple down to the 15-yard line.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. This is Elliott. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. 9 yards on the play there, and it sets him up 1st and goal. They've taken this opening kickoff and marched it right down the field defensively. Not much resistance.
And that's the point, because my admiration is for the guys moving the ball right now. They know what they're doing. Their plan is working. But I flip it over and watch and say, okay, what are you going to do to change things up? Because if you don't, they're going to put that ball in the end zone real soon.
Mike, here we go. Check, check. Mike 42. Now let's run. Check.
Now Elliott. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. A 6-yard touchdown run. And the Cowboys take it all the way down the field and score on the opening drive. That's just a solid, methodical drive to start this game.
And how about how it culminated? Doing exactly what they wanted to do, getting the ball downfield, and then running it into the end zone. I'm just telling you, partner, when you run it in rather than throw it in, that hurts a defense psychologically a heck of a lot more.
Forbath able to convert the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays, and it culminates in a touchdown run by Ezekiel Elliott. Forbath to send it away now following the touchdown. This is taken at the 3. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. So now it's the Packers' turn to go on offense for the first time. They'll be led out by the former Cal Bear, Aaron Rodgers.
I remember meeting him when he was playing at Cal, and I remember walking away thinking, instead of having Rodgers stitched on the back of his jersey, it should just say confidence, because that's how he felt about his own abilities and his ability to elevate a team.
Rodgers will bring the pack up with a 1st and 10 at their own 24. Rodgers throwing quickly out to Adams. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. A quick throw out to Adams on the perimeter. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll force upon him a 3rd and 14.
Now, that was well defended, and as a cornerback, what you're taught when you see a wide receiver screen, either you get underneath the play before the blocking forms, or you're going to have to fight your way through it by getting through some blocking. That was a really nice play there.
And the Cowboys here on 3rd down, bringing in an extra defensive back. Off the play fake to Jones. Here's Rodgers. Looking. He's got a man. Complete. And he finally goes down at the 23-yard line. A big play there. Rodgers to Adams. 57 yards. Well, that didn't take very long. You mentioned you have to keep him under wraps. Avoid the big play is what you said, and here he makes one in the first quarter.
Yeah, you can't let this become a habit. Otherwise, you know what will happen? They'll flat out take over this game.
So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. And now the offensive starters for the Packers.
And a big key is going to be how can these wideouts create separation from the defensive backs, because we've seen some early success in the passing game in this one, and that's going to need to continue.
Throwing on 2nd down. Rodgers. A throw caught by Kumaro. A good-looking drive for the Packers so far. It's a 1st down.
I like the screen being called here early in the game, especially on the opening drive, because, Brandon, when guys come out of the locker room, especially those pass rushers, they are so amped up to get to the quarterback that you can use that against them, and a screen pass is a great way of doing it. A lot of teams against good pass rushing teams, they want to run the screen 10 to 12 times in a game.
To throw is Rodgers. Now look out, Rodgers lost the football, but fortunately he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble.
Well, that was a big oops right there, but how about his ability to correct it? Loses the football, able to get it back himself.
Yeah, pounced right back on it, keeps possession. First down, a bit of a disaster, and now on 2nd and goal, back even further. Throwing now is Rodgers. Got a man, that's Allison. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. Really nice gain on the completion, however, still 3rd and goal that they face now.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
They'll try and run it in with Jones. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that will bring up an interesting decision here on 4th and goal. Looking at this situation, if you're at the 1, the 2, maybe you go for it. From here, you kick it.
I agree. I think you have to get points in this situation. 4th down, I don't chance it at all. I put the points on the board and go back and regroup.
So on now for the Packers is their all-time leading scorer, Mason Crosby. From the left hash, a chip shot here. And the 12-year veteran knocks it right through. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So, yes, it's only 3, but at least they're able to answer back after giving up the touchdown to start the game.
Yeah, I like the observation there, because getting some points on the board, very positive for them. Feel a little bit better about things, because if you don't score, you potentially have opened the door for them to score again, and then you're down 14.
After the made field goal, now Crosby will do the kickoff duties. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line.
Here we go.
And now Dallas gets set to take the field. They had the touchdown on the opening drive of the ball game. It was countered by just a field goal. So, hey, if your guys can do that for 4 quarters, you're in good shape.
Yeah, it is a team game, so that's just good complimentary football. But, you know, I know I'm no brainiac, but you trade 6s for 3s, things are going to work out in your favor.
So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 24. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Out of the gun, it's Elliott. And he works his way forward for a couple up past the 30.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
They'll try and run for it with Elliott. And he's going to have the 1st down yardage to the 35. They have the 1st down with that gain of 4 yards.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up 1st downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They play fake to Elliott. Now Prescott. And that's Elliott, complete. And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like, right at the 40.
Now that's the type of play that gives you a chance to win. Nothing forced downfield where you don't have a guy open. Swing it out to the back, maybe even check it down, whatever you want to call it. Gain of 5. You're just trying to get 4 on 1st down. They're ahead of the chains now.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. Elliott. And not much room to operate as he'll get this up only to about the 41. 5 yards on 1st down, but now just a 1-yard pickup there on 2nd.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Prescott from the gun on 3rd. Got his man there, complete to Gallup. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. And they convert on 3rd with a gain of 22.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Prescott going to come up 1st and 10. And he's completed all 7 of his passes thus far. On the counter, Elliott. Fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. The tackle made by Blake Martinez.
He did have the touchdown run earlier, but not a heck of a lot more than that throughout this game.
No, not at all. In fact, I would say that this defense has done as good of a job on him as they have on any runner in recent memory. The first carry now for Tony Pollard. And he's got this pretty close to a 1st down as the tackle is made at the Packers' 28.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
This will be play number 8 here on the drive. It's 3rd and a yard. Out of the gun. Here's Prescott. And he'll have his man. That's Cooper. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. Defense was thinking run, and they're dealt a pass of just under 20 yards.
It's funny when I go back to our pregame meeting with Amari Cooper, and we mentioned, what if they play man coverage against you? He almost seemed offended by it, didn't he?
I'll beat it. That's basically what he said, right?
I mean, the best receivers we've ever talked to and covered, when you talk about covering them with one guy, they think that's a personal affront. If they feel like if they can't just beat one defender, then they're not very good.
So another 3rd down conversion, and now they've got a 1st and goal. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. Drops it underneath to Elliott. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. 3 yards is the gain that time, 2nd and goal.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. Prescott now. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Preston Smith. The blitz works to perfection as he gets in there to dump him for a loss of 8.
2nd goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football. Had to eat it and ended up on the ground.
This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? To throw is Prescott, and he can't hang on to it. Nearly picked. He's known for his hands defensively, but instead it just brings up 4th down. Well, so a drive that spans all that time, and yet you may only come away with 3 points here.
Well, your defense, all right, they actually like these long drives. They get to rest over on the sidelines for a while. But when you're not finishing with points in terms of touchdowns, that's frustrating. They've got to figure out how to close out these long drives and get 6s instead of 3s.
And Forbath will put this one through. And they push the lead up to a touchdown now at 10-3. So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-play drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they go 13 plays, you only give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't force any mistakes, you don't take the ball away. Maybe that's the way they should look at it.
Forbath now to kick it away after the made field goal. This will be taken in at the 1. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the pack up 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. A gain of 3, 2nd down. And now the defense for Dallas.
Robert Quinn gets to the quarterback as well as any defensive end in the league. A lot of it goes back to his high school wrestling background. He understands leverage and hands as well as anyone.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
Get some penetration here. Let's get some penetration.
The first carry now for the BYU man. It's Jamal Williams. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
No. 18. 54. Hey, watch your leg.
They'll try and run for it with Jones. And he's going to have a first down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of the yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
After the run by Jones, here's 1st and 10.
Watch the curl.
And he'll give it here to his running back. Give him 2 yards on the gain there, and it will take us to the end of quarter number 1. 10-3 our score after 1 here on EA Sports. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. He'll get 3 up to midfield.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. The Packers on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. From midfield, here's Rodgers. And he's going to drop this off to Williams, complete. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. An effective 7-yard 3rd down conversion.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
Now a first down carry by Jones. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, people say bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
On play action, now Rodgers. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. This offense 2 for 2 on 3rd downs on this drive. They're in for a tough test here, though. 3rd and long. Here's Rodgers, and that will be incomplete as well. Great coverage there all around. Really didn't have many options to throw the football.
Very little chance that that one was going to be completed. Every receiver was locked up.
On 4th down, J.K. Scott ready to punt it away. Back deep for the Cowboys, Tavon Austin. Out of bounds as he appeared to be looking for the corner. He got it. They're going to mark this at the 4-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And they will start this drive with just terrible field position backed up inside their own 5.
But we have seen teams be bold here and take shots, right? Sometimes you go max protection, make it a one-receiver route, and take your shot downfield and see what happens. And occasionally, we've seen success occur.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Now Prescott. Wide open receiver complete. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. Give him 18 on that one, and it's a Dallas first down.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it, sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
Prescott now. Only one pass has hit the ground for him. 10 of 11 thus far. It's 1st and 10. Here's Prescott. He's got a man complete. It's Amari Cooper. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A really nice gain of 25 yards. So Amari Cooper out of Northwestern High School in Miami making a nice play there.
And it's so funny that when I was going through the draft process when he came out of Alabama and was inquiring about him and his skills, they say it all began back in Miami. He really became a pro receiver at a young age because of his attention to detail and precision. But don't forget his athletic ability. That's what made that catch there.
And he did spend 1 year with Teddy Bridgewater as his quarterback there, so that helped back in high school. So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Here's Elliott. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Off play action to Elliott. Here's Prescott. Stepping up, he's going to keep it. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. 10th carry now for Elliott. And he'll snag about 5 yards down to the 32.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. They'll try to throw now. Prescott. He's going to find Gallup here complete. And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 19.
They sure put the coverage guys in a stress on that one. They thought they were going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
From the red zone now, Prescott. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Michael Gallup, that's who he was looking for. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
Completes it to Jason Witten. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on third down.
The Cowboys on third down. They've been near perfect, 4 for 5 to this point. This time it's 3rd and 3. Throwing, Prescott. Yeah, this is caught, but I don't think he stayed in bounds. No, he didn't. It's incomplete. The throw took him past the boundary, and it's 4th. Green Bay up to the task there in coverage and forcing a 4th down.
These guys had to settle for a field goal their last time moving the ball down the field. They may have to do it again on this drive. That could be frustrating.
Yeah, I don't want to be cliche, but at least they were able to get 3 last time. 3 here, not the worst thing in the world. And he'll try and throw here on the fake. And how about this? It's complete. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. A 12-yard touchdown grab. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. It took a pretty big risk right there going for it on 4th down. But, hey, not only did they get the first down, forget about that, they got in the end zone.
Yeah, because normally you're just thinking, can I get enough yardage to get it past the sticks and pick up a first down? Instead, they go for the end zone and get it done with no margin for error. Remember, 4th down, they went for it.
Forbath, the extra point, and the lead is now 17-3. So that one a long 11-play drive, and it's capped off with a Cowboys touchdown. Forbath to send it away now following the touchdown. Fielded about a yard deep. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or 2 shy of the 30. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
Rodgers will bring the pack up with a 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. Now a man open down the middle of the field. 11 yards and a Green Bay Packer 1st down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll run it with Jones. And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
Well, that didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10.
Come on, let's go.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Williams. 9 yards on the pickup there as they'll be left with 3rd and 1.
I thought that was a good call. Passing situation on 2nd down. They hit him with the draw instead and pick up nice yardage.
Yeah, because the draw, they're thinking pass when they see that initially defensively, right?
But you know, in today's NFL, most of the time on 2nd and long, when it's a passing situation, pass rushers are on the field and they're only thinking one thing, get to the quarterback. And oftentimes you can bypass them with a running play.
And this is caught, but I don't think he stayed in bounds. No, he didn't. It's incomplete. The throw took him past the boundary, and it's 4th. So a couple of 1st downs on this drive, but it's looking like another empty possession.
And those empty possessions are certainly starting to pile up. So the adjustments that teams talk about all the time have to be taking place. They've got to analyze what's breaking down and figure a way to fix it.
Here's J.K. Scott now as he'll kick it away for the second time. This is away and a very good kick angled for the sidelines. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. Here's the Dallas offense now heading back out onto the field. They have to be pleased with the way that they've moved the football thus far.
And why wouldn't they be? 2 touchdowns on a field goal in their first 3 possessions. They're playing so well right now, the field goal probably feels like a disappointment.
Now a carry for the big fella. This is Jameis Olawale. And he'll find a little space. He gets this up near the 10. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Probably a bit of a surprise call there on first down, but how about a tone setter for the drive? Picking up nice yardage with the big man setting the tone physically.
On 2nd down and 4. Prescott caught by Cobb. A big seam, and he might go all the way. Past the 20. Touchdown, Cowboys. Randall Cobb, 91 yards. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. And I think it's safe to say we won't call many touchdown passes longer than that this year, partner.
No, I would agree with that totally. And right now, you're looking at an offensive coordinator. Conservative would not go next to his name. Risk taker, definitely, because he valued the opportunity to create a big play against what could have been disaster if they end up getting sacked or fumbling the ball in the shadow of their own goal line.
Forbath to add the extra point. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21 points. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. Forbath to send it away now following the touchdown. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take this across the 25. A couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Here's Aaron Jones in the offense trotting back out. They've given him some touches. They haven't had a lot of success on the ground. Do you maybe keep going to that well, or do you mix it up more?
I think you mix it up more, try and loosen things up. Get the defense to react to other people, other plays, but don't forget about it. That's your horse. You know, Secretariat lost twice in his career.
So educational. That's very true, kids. Look it up. Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the pack up 1st and 10 at their own 27. They begin the drive with Williams. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Rodgers gives this to Jamal Williams. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and turn his legs for a really nice pickup.
Green 18. Exit. Green 18.
On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. He's got the hook up to Lazard. Good work after the catch. Gets him 15 and a first down.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. Rodgers now 8 of 11 in this first half. He's got it 1st and 10. Rodgers going to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Malik Collins busting through to get him for a loss of 6.
3 scores down, not even a halftime yet. They are not getting much generated offensively. They've got to figure it out.
It's tough because this defense just seems to be playing with so much confidence right now.
They really are. They are on their toes, and they're getting at them.
Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack.
Here we go, D. Check 4. Green 18.
Off the draw, here's Williams. And nothing doing here as this time the run maybe gets him back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. Nothing there, no gain, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 15.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
The Packers on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This will be 3rd and 15. Now Rodgers. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. Here's J.K. Scott now. He'll boot it away from about his 35. And he uncorks a beauty. Best of the day. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. Now Dak Prescott and the offense heading back onto the field. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes, but right now, he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the second quarter. So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They'll start the drive with Elliott. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Prescott from the gun. And this is caught by Witten, the tight end. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. It's a gain of 16 and a Dallas first down. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on them a little bit, I think. So they're looking at each other and trying to figure out what defense will work and how can they play better without getting beat deep for big passes.
3 down. Hey,
They play fake to Elliott. Now Prescott rolling to his left. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
Man, defensively, that hurts. They got him out of his rhythm. They had him hemmed in, but somehow he was able to tuck it away and get away for a gain.
Check, Mike 42. Silver.
Prescott now from the 50. That's complete to Cobb. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. We remind you that coming up at halftime, Jonathan Coachman will be alongside. He'll have highlights and analysis from Orlando of this first half of action. Dak dropping this one off for Zeke. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. 7 yards there and a first down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now Prescott. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. That is the first time that they've targeted him that he has not come down with a catch.
He's caught everything that's been thrown his way. A dominant pass receiver that can break down any defense, because when he's doing that kind of work, it really hurts you on the back end.
And even though it's an incompletion there, I think they're going back to that well. Throwing again, Prescott on 2nd and 10. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Jason Witten, the intended target, but now it'll be 3rd down.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here, because they had incompletions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock, because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
Hey. You got three. Three down.
On 3rd down, it's Prescott. And that will be incomplete. Jair Alexander that time able to knock that one away.
This defense can use some more of these types of plays. How about him reading it, driving on the football, and he's right there for the pass breakup.
So on now is Kai Forbath. If you're wondering, he's hit from as far as 57. This will be from 56 yards out. And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short, well right to boot. And this score will stay right where it is. And that's the risk of the long field goal miss here at this stage of the second quarter. You give up great field position.
And that gives them one more opportunity to make something happen and something big. And we've seen crazy stuff happen at the end of halves.
Here's Aaron Jones in the offense trotting back out. He's just been looking for some space. I'm not going to pin it on him or the offensive line, but they need to get this run game going better.
Sometimes you just have to credit the defense. They came in with a plan themselves. So I think now you try and mix things up a little bit. Get the ball in the hands of some other people, find some other playmakers, but always let the defense believe that he's still a threat.
I was going to say, don't forget about it.
No, don't take him totally out of the game.
So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 46. Throwing now is Rodgers. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35.
Let's go.
Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a first down.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Here we go. Let's go, D. Let's go. Flip it down.
Working from the gun, Rodgers. The connection made, it's Graham. And they move this all the way down to the 9. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. This is 1st and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. Now Rodgers. Got a man open. It's Adams. Touchdown, Green Bay. A 9-yard touchdown there. And the Packers get a score closer.
Well, that touchdown certainly helps, but they've got to go ahead and convert, get to the half, and figure out how to keep chopping down this lead in the second, don't they?
Yeah, they still need to regroup, and they still need to end the second quarter strong. A little bit of time left. On is Mason Crosby for the point after. And this is up and good. That'll make it a score now of 24-10. The long touchdown pass gets them 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
Let's go.
Dak and the Cowboys ready for their next possession. They've got the lead. He's a big reason why. Looking sharp so far.
And as we travel around the league, we see quarterbacks get it done in a variety of ways. But today's NFL does tell us one thing. If that guy doesn't play well, their team's not going to win. And right now, he's got his team in the lead.
And now they'll look to extend that lead.
There we go. 42. Coming.
1st down, Prescott. Got an open man, the tight end, Jarwin. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. To throw is Prescott. Got his man there complete to Gallup. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The Cowboys going to use their second timeout now, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1.
There you go. 26.
A 1st down throw for Prescott. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. 17 yards on the play there, and the Cowboys have a first down. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
There you go. Wide eight. 50. Like 50. I'm going to run you over. 26.
On 1st and 10, Prescott incomplete, and we're down to 8 seconds now. So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40.
You're not ready. You're not ready.
Prescott yet again. He'll try and run it. And shedding through the tackle.
Come on, baby.
So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to an abbreviated version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This one has certainly been one-sided to this point. It's a 2-touchdown difference, as the teams have already come back out onto the field for the second half. So let's get you back out as well to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there.
But this
you're
going to do that?
I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for him. Now Jones. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. DeMarcus Lawrence in on the tackle.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Hey, watch the slant, watch the slant. Watch the slant.
On 2nd down, Williams. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
I don't think you got it, son.
Shotgun now for Rodgers. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. It's a gain of 16 and a first down for the green and gold.
Barney sold the go route really well. Thought he was going deep, then curled it back inside for a nice completion.
DBs love when they pump the brakes, don't they?
Yeah, that's really a whole lot of fun. It's almost like you said, listen, if you're going to sell the go, just go, and let's see who's faster.
So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Jones. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. He was brought down by Malik Collins.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Rodgers. It's caught here by Adams. And he's going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys 30.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. They go back to the ground with Jones. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
It's just me and you.
Shotgun now for Rodgers. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. This home crowd, they're happy with that call.
I like the way you said happy there, right? The so-called good guys didn't get a call. They feel like it's been that way all afternoon. You feeling their pain?
They finally got one.
Yes, they did.
319. Strip the ball. Strip that ball.
Into the red zone. It's Rodgers. And that's complete to Adams. And he gets this inside the 10 to the 9. It's also a gain of 9. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. They'll try the right side with Jones. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. It's a 3-yard pickup, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Here's Rodgers to throw. Touchdown, Packers! Jamal Williams there to make the grab as his guys are back within a single score. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the 3rd quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there was an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
Extra point try now for Crosby. He's got it, and it's 24-17. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And it ends ends with a Packers touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Cowboys offense now, they head out for their first possession of the second half. So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 27. Prescott to throw it. Rolling to his right. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there at 2nd down.
Looked at me like they adopted what my kindergarten teacher always said. If at first you don't succeed, try again. And finally, able to hold him in check. He'd been carving him up running the ball.
That's the first time I think I've seen where the coverage was good downfield and they accounted for him and stopped him for a short pickup.
Yeah, I don't think it was a big adjustment, but much more emphasis on making sure they knew where he was when he decided to take off and go.
A throw over the middle taken in, and he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. That'll wind up a gain of 27 on the catch and run.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air, and sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Looking to throw. Prescott. This to Jarwin. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Prescott. The tight end Jarwin with it out on the left side. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
On 3rd and 1, here's Prescott. That one complete to Elliott. 11 yards and a Cowboy 1st down. He's having a nice game through the air. His decision-making's been really good. Solid there again. Just seeing nothing downfield, goes underneath. Nice gain.
How about the patience? Because when you're having a big game through the air, you're looking for those chunk plays, those big ones downfield. Instead, as you noted, takes the check down, dumps it off, gains good yardage anyway. Really well executed.
Prescott going to come up 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. And again, it's Prescott. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Zadarius Smith came in there hard on the blitz and got him down 9 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. They'll run with Elliott. And they won't fare much better here as he maybe gets back to the line. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Prescott from the gun. Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. They could not contain Kenny Clark as he gets home for the sack.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs, they covered well, allowed for the sack.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Okay, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
15 cents.
On now is Kai Forbath to try the field goal. This from 54 yards away. And no, it doesn't get there. Hits the crossbar, bounces back out. He had it online, but it comes up about a rotation short. Well, he had that one on target. That's half the battle. The other half of the battle, however, is distance.
And he nearly had that, too. But it was the crossbar that said otherwise. And that'll deny him a shot at 3.
Number 12 back out there. Aaron and his Packer teammates set to begin their drive. He's played well. Good first half. He's continued that here in the 3rd quarter. But my question, when you're a head coach, what do you look at stat line-wise for your coach? Do you go right to turnovers?
You really do. As much as coaches don't want to talk about that, that's where it starts. When I played in college, our first rule for every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. And that's kind of how they judge you. Do you take care of the ball, not turn it over, keep it in the proper hands, and give your team a chance to win?
Well, that's what he's done here in this one so far. Give him 7 on the play, and that'll make it a 2nd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. They'll run out of the gun here. Williams. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
Check, walk 54, walk 54. Man, I got you.
Rodgers throwing quickly out to Adams. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. At the 43-yard line. On 2nd down, it's Jones. And he'll take it inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down?
I have to think a major focus at the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the 2nd level.
Give him 10 there. Good enough for a Packer 1st down.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the 1st down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
Yeah, they were right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Come to my work. We want it. Come
To throw is Rodgers. Pass hauled in by the 6'4" tight end Sternberger. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down. Rodgers now to throw. Flushed out, and he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. The sack by Robert Quinn. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
Rodgers now, after the sack, he'll lead the pack up on 3rd and long. From the gun, it's Rodgers. He's going to look deep down the field. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. On the right hash, officially, this will be a 51-yard attempt. The kick by Crosby is good, and that'll bring him back within 4. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
After the made field goal, now Crosby will do the kickoff duties. This is fielded at the goal line. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Dak and the Cowboy offense heading back onto the field. How do you break down his game so far? Just the one touchdown pass, but sometimes the touchdown pass stat category, that doesn't tell the whole story.
It really doesn't. Not until you balance it with the error side. You know, and in this case, he hasn't thrown any interceptions. So a lot of people would call this almost a pedestrian game, kind of a bus driver game. But that's just really wrong. Being a bus driver is a good thing if you're running a football team, because that means you're in control and you're taking your team to the right places.
Yeah, he's been pretty solid. On the RPO, Prescott's going to keep it himself. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
So many times we talk about having good eye discipline when you're playing defense, making sure your eyes are in the proper place on a given play. Looks like that discipline came to the front there, didn't it? They were able to hold him for a short gain when he took off running.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Now Prescott. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. The safety, Adrian Amos, comes crashing in for the sack.
Brandon, more often than not, you'd say they've had his number, and we can count them up so far. 1, 2, 3, 4 sacks given up. But guess what? He's still been able to make some plays, and right now they have a lead.
They'll need a big play here. Will Dak and the Cowboys after the sack. It's 3rd and long. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. Completes it to Jason Witten. And he's going to be stopped here a few yards short of the first as the tackle is made at the 33. They'll get 11, but still a little short. 4th down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, like hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
Out now comes the Cowboys punter as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. On the return is Irvin. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And it'll be Packer football here. 1st down and 10. The Packers offense now heading back out onto the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. On 1st down, Rodgers. And his throw is incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. To throw again, Rodgers. Over the middle, that's caught by Adams. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Now Rodgers. He's got it to Williams. And he's able to pick up the first before he's taken down at the 27. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Throwing on 1st down is Rodgers. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. And again, it's Rodgers. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Adams. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. 7 yards there and a 1st down. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Rodgers to throw once more. The connection made. It's Graham. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around to make a play on the football.
Rodgers will bring him up to the line, 1st and 10. And he's 5 for 6 now throwing the ball on this drive. Now Rodgers. And Graham's got it. Complete. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
So not quite a first down just yet as they come up on 2nd and less than a yard. He's got the hook up to Lazard. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
Rodgers now on first down. Got an open man. It's Valdez-Scantling. A gain of 6 there on first.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that. And that's what he did.
9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
Win 18, 54. Let's go, D. It's going to be a long day on this. It's going to be a long day.
Now a first down carry. It's Williams. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
In your face.
On 2nd and 9. Rodgers throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
The Packers on 3rd down. They've hit on half of them, 5 for 10. This is 3rd and 9. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And the Cowboys pressure gets there this time for the sack. Defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence applied the heat.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. Right hash, 37-yard attempt. And Crosby puts it through, and that'll bring him back within a point. So with that field goal, this one's now back within a field goal. Maybe not the ultimate result they wanted, but gets them that much closer.
This game is unfolding like a really good book, isn't it? Because I feel like there's a few more plot twists yet to be revealed before this one is over.
After the made field goal, now Crosby will do the kickoff duties. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. Now, the previous drive they punted, but that was just the first time they've had to do so in this game.
And when they turn on the game film, the coaches will rant about this, right? They'll say, oh, God, we got to move the ball, guys. We can't punt the ball away. But they have to keep smiles off their faces because that's the first time in the game they've had to do so. They've moved it quite well. They'll overall be happy with what they've seen.
So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 26. They'll try and run some clock now with Elliott. Only a couple there as he'll be brought down about the 28. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
There's a throw over the middle. It's taken in by his tight end. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. It's a gain of 12, and the Cowboys pick up the first.
As far as tight ends go, this guy's not a speed burner. He's much more of an inline blocking type of a tight end. But how about this last play? Made a nice catch and picked up a first down.
That's what impresses me about him. When he's called upon, usually gets it done. Prescott looks to throw on first. He'll buy some time right. And now he's going to use his legs. The escapability in evidence there is that one good for 15 and a first.
How many times have we seen this late in the fourth quarter? Because you know the pass rush is getting after him, and they get upfield, get that great push, and what do they create? Space, and he takes off.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Throwing, Prescott. He's going to find Gallup here complete. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march off another 15 against your squad.
The penalty moves him into the red zone here on 1st and 10.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
After the penalty, it's Elliott. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. Kenny Clark, the big D tackle there to make the stop. Good gain there on 1st down. It keeps them in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front. Good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bring up a key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key 3rd down. Highlight that word. Put it in bold. Here we go. On 3rd down, it's Prescott. And he's able to hook up with Michael Gallup. And he's got the 1st down as he gets it to the 8. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. Now Prescott And this is caught for a Cowboy touchdown. Blake Jarwin there to make the grab. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. Now Forbath for the extra point. And with that, the lead is up to 8. So this drive spans 7 plays, and it culminates in a Dallas touchdown. Forbath is sent it away now following the touchdown. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25.
Let's go.
And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And they had a long drive last time, but they had to settle for a field goal, and I'm sure that's how it felt to them, settling. They probably should have gotten in the end zone.
Yeah, not out-and-out joy, right? Because that's what you get when you put the ball in the end zone. But there are benefits to that type of a long drive. Your defense gets a chance to take a break, adjust a little bit, maybe get themselves ready to get back out on the field and play a little bit better. So they'll take the benefit even though they wanted the 6 points.
And maybe wore down the other defense. We'll see. They start the drive on the ground. It's Williams. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
I'm coming for you, son. I'm coming for you, son.
On 2nd and 2, Rodgers. And this is caught. Mercedes Lewis with a grab. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game. Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now it's Rodgers. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. 13 yards, first down, Packers. When we see another great performance like this out of Aaron Rodgers, you have to chuckle thinking that his only FBS offer was a walk-on at Illinois.
And now he's the pride of Butte Junior College, of course at Cal. And I remember watching him play at Cal, and he would run 7-on-7 drills. Angry if the ball ever hit the ground, and he didn't do it very often.
Rodgers on target here to Allison. A gain of 6 there on first.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Rodgers again now. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
The Packers on 3rd down. They've converted 5 times in their many chances thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Throwing now is Rodgers. Open man is Allison, complete. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
On 3rd down is very simple. Make sure you get beyond the sticks, make the catch, pick up the first down. But in this case, he turned it into bonus time and was off to the races for a monster play.
One man in the backfield, that's Jones. First and goal, a touchdown and a two-point conversion here are musts. And he'll get it up the middle. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3. And now it looks like we've got a Cowboy shaken up down there on the field. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's second and goal. They'll run it with Williams. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Under 4 to play now. Clock running. Third down. Working from the gun. Rodgers. Got a man open. It's Adams. Touchdown, Green Bay. Davante Adams. His second touchdown of the afternoon. As they now sit just a 2-point conversion away from tying this game up in the fourth quarter.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, 2 by sea. He didn't mention air because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
And, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that in the podcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
And he'll get into the end zone as the 2-point conversion is successful. Still time to work with on the clock, but they wanted the tie now, and they got it.
And I love their aggressiveness. Go ahead and get it done, get the game tied. Now your team has the momentum, and you're staring across the field saying, let's see if you can match us.
So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this fourth quarter. This is taken at his 4. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Here's the Dallas offense now heading back out onto the field. And they had to wait a long time to get the football back. Probably not what you were hoping for when you got an offense that's humming.
Agreed. What you were looking for is the defense get the ball back pretty quickly, right? Hoping for a 3 and out. So that didn't happen. You can't yell at your D for that. They've got to take care of their own business and reestablish themselves now that they're back on the field.
So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 22. They go back to Elliott. He's been busy.
Offside. Defense.
And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there. Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They keep on the ground with Elliott. Just what you want on a 1st down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. This is Elliott, and he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a 1st down. Keep the sticks moving.
They'll go with Pollard here on 1st down. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards. Now it looks like we'll get a timeout, and we will. We've got an injured Packer on the field. We'll check on his status when we get back. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
Quarterback, don't get nervous now. We ain't beginning to turn you up. Don't get nervous.
Now Elliott. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. Getting down to the good stuff. All tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got it 1st and 10 as they search for a go-ahead score. A 20th carry here for Elliott. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, partner, I guess sometimes it's just a matter of philosophy. Some say run until they absolutely stop you, and others say, well, when you think they're about to stop you, fool them a little bit. I guess they should have tried to fool them on that play.
On 2nd down now, it's Elliott. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. Elliott. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Probably had 60,000 thinking pass right there, including us in the booth.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That was a big call, big guts on that one. And guess what? That run, it'll pay dividends.
A game-winning field goal would be a chip shot from here. Let's see how they play it on 1st and goal. Now Elliott. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Now from the 7, here's 2nd and goal. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. Now the Packers going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
Here's Elliott. And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. A good run that time. They couldn't close him down, and now 9 yards makes for a very different situation on 4th and goal. Have to kick this field goal, don't you?
No question about it. Look at the clock. Look at the situation. Kick the field goal.
So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This to take the lead here in the final minute. And Forbath will put this one through. And the sideline celebrates as they have taken the lead in the final minute. All right, so time to reset here. It's a huge kick there, gives them the lead, but they've got to be careful that their celebrations aren't a little too premature.
You're exactly right about that, because there still is time for the other guys to run a few plays and get into field goal position. So this defense is going to need to come up with one final stop if they're going to get out of here with a victory.
Forbath now to kick it away after the made field goal. This is taken at the 3. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Let's go.
So now Rodgers in the pack. Down 34-31. A little under 30 seconds remaining. And they need, at minimum, 3 points out of this as they come up 1st and 10. He's back to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And he takes this down deep on the Cowboys side of the field. It's a big play there for Green Bay. 54 yards.
Here we go. 58.
One final try now for Rodgers. And it's caught.
Let's go.
Well, Charles, they were close in the end, but they couldn't get that last play, that last little miracle play done. They were within striking distance, but couldn't find a way to score.
They definitely had hope. They definitely had opportunity. Just unable to cash in at the end. Not an easy play by any stretch, but they definitely had a chance.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say so long, everyone, from Lambeau.